Merci de votre fidélité à Africa News.
Thanks for staying with us here on Africa News. Now, could this be the first defeat for the opposition in Senegal 2 months before legislative polls in that country? A coalition of opposition parties formed at the end of April in a bid to oust the current majority in parliament, which belongs to the party of incumbent President Macky Sall, has broken up ahead of the election. The breakup is fueled by the refusal of former President Abdoulaye Wade's camp to allow the jailed mayor of Dakar, Khalifa Sall, to lead the opposition coalition. The former president will, however, lead a half of the coalition to the poll.
That's right, Stefan. The former president will head the coalition while the other breakaway faction backs the mayor of Dakar, Khalifa Sall, who was jailed in March this year over allegations of embezzling nearly $3 million of public funds. I recall to you that Khalifa Sall has been seen as a potential rival to President Macky Sall in elections expected in the year 2019. Political analysts argue that a parliamentary victory for the opposition to President Macky Sall would give Abdoulaye Wade the means to obtain an amnesty for his son Karim Wade, who enjoyed considerable ministerial powers under his father but was sentenced to 6 years in prison in 2015. There is no age limit for the candidates running for parliamentary positions in Senegal, but at 91 years old, is Abdoulaye Wade still the best option to head the opposition coalition?
To
help us understand the situation in Senegal is political analyst Yoro Dia. Good morning, Yoro Dia, and welcome to the program.
Help
us understand what's happening in Senegal. Former President Abdoulaye Wade, the opposition, will be leading the opposition coalition for the legislative post. Is this an unexpected scenario?
No,
it's not so unexpected as Wade had talked about it some 6 months ago. But there are a lot of people who said it was unreasonable. But at the time, I asked if Wade was ever reasonable. It's simply Abdoulaye Wade. But I think the lesson that must be drawn is that the opposition was unable to unite because of unitary dynamics of the opposition, because the unitary dynamics of the opposition were fairly simple. Macky Sall is the main contradiction, so we forget that there are secondary contradictions.
Voilà, mais comment comprendre tout de même ce retournement de situation avec cette...
But how do we explain the return of Abdoulaye Wade on the stage or to this particular situation? Was it a case that there were egos clashing?
For
an opposition, there is no greater stake than alternation. The voting method here always favors the one who arrives first or comes on top. With the meeting of the opposition, we will end up with a scenario where Macky Sall's party will end up with 30% of polls in some districts and win. This is the method of voting, and that is why it was vital for the opposition to unite. This is what we call the Rao Gadu. That is, the one who comes first at the district level wins the entire district. So in the districts in Senegal, we will find that where the opposition is united, it will yield about 80%, but nonetheless, it's Macky Sall's party that will win the districts. This is why everybody thought that the opposition as a unit was natural, but apparently common sense did not prevail, so the egos were bigger than common sense. But the fact that the opposition is obliged to call Abdoulaye Wade, a 90-year-old man, to the rescue shows, in my view, that there is a real problem of leadership within the opposition. And finally, we know that Wade was rejected by Senegalese in favor of Sall. How do you explain the posturing of this man of providence?
Pour les jeunes téléspectateurs, en 2012, au second tour de la présidentielle, il a été battu donc par Macky Sall. Il l'avait d'ailleurs nommé Macky Sall en 2001 ministre de l'eau, de l'énergie et de l'hydraulique, si j'ai bonne mémoire. Alors comment comprendre cette posture d'homme providentiel que revêt finalement Abdoulaye Wade maintenant?
No, Wade does not position himself as a man of providence. At least one can recognize Wade merits coherence. Throughout his career, Wade had two qualities, coherence and tenacity. Today, the last objective of Wade, the ultimate fight of his life, is to bring back his son into the political game. He wanted to do this in a subtle way. The Senegalese did not agree. That is why they turned against him in 2012, because they did not want his monarchic project. The imprisonment of his son was a collateral damage. After negotiations with Macky Sall, he was able to obtain clemency for his son, but a presidential pardon does not make his son eligible to run for the position of president. What Wade wants is for his son to be given amnesty, and the amnesty in Senegal comes from the National Assembly. Hence the return of Wade. He wants to run for the legislative elections, gather the opposition around him, have a majority, and push through a vote on amnesty for his son. So Wade's scheme is very coherent. He wanted his son to replace him as the head of state, but Senegal being a great democracy, not like Togo or Gabon or other countries like that, the Senegalese said no at the polls. But Wade, he never gave up his ambitions. Till now, he wants to see his son at the top. So the fact that he currently finds himself in a scheme to fight for the legislature explains this. Since politically there is nothing more to prove, he has nothing more to gain, which puts us in an unprecedented situation in Senegal, where we have a former head of state who wants to position himself as leader of the opposition.